Got lots of love, love. 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 Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket
What is up, my friends? Welcome here in week 5 of CGL. My name is Jeff, alongside 2 Tryhard Rays. We get into some action in our PC in a open tier division. We've got an undefeated team, Trailblazers, coming in, taking on the 2-2 Shapeless Oblivion.
Yeah, so slightly going to be a favorite toward the Trailblazers, but you never know when it comes to some CGL action. Any team can find their stride now that everyone's had a little bit of time off, a little bit of time to reset, figure out this meta, because that meta was kind of thrown at everyone last minute with that change coming in a day before all the games happened. So a lot of craziness, but the dust has settled. Hopefully these teams have figured out what their best.
Yeah, and how exactly they want to move forward through the rest of the season. And like you say, kind of get settled in here. We'll see what emerges. It was a bit chaos all through that midseason tournament, but we have emerged on the other side. We now have Flashpoint in the mix permanently. Will be a mainstay here throughout the rest of this season and any seasons to come. But aside from that, let's take a look at our players. See who's gonna be hitting the battlefield today. We bring up that Trailblazers roster of this so far absolutely flawless team. They're coming in 4-0, have not dropped a map yet as far as regular season is concerned.
Yeah, it's very impressive to be able to go that far. I believe their only loss was in the grand finals midseason. They lost to Shikigami, so very
semifinals, but yeah.
Oh, semifinals, yeah. But still, very impressive. Shikigami is an incredibly talented team, so there should be no shame in losing to them. But hoping to bounce back after taking that loss. But as you mentioned, still very impressive season they've had so far.
Yeah, we'll say none of the teams in that top 4 have been a part of Trailblazers matches. Yeah, they have not played anybody from that top 4 that we saw in the midseason tournament in regular season. So, perhaps a little bit easier shake the schedule so far. We'll see if this perfect record holds against today's opponent here as we bring up Shapeless Oblivion. This team, as I mentioned, coming in 2-2. You see led by Steven there on the far right, showing us the Lucio. Steven is... long-time contacts here at CGL. Used to coach the Kinetics team, which is Headrammer's team, way back in 2019, and half of this team played on the Kinetics PC team as well.
Yeah, a lot of long-time CGL people, which is always great. This community just continuing to grow, keeping some of the old, bringing in a lot of the new. It's only going to foster better tournaments and a better community, so great to see that. But hopefully they can turn things around. Like we mentioned, 2-2, but very much room for improvement for this team. And with the new meta where, maybe, we see the Orisa for Duke. Maybe we see that come out. She got a little bit of a nerf, so Zarya seems to be the stronger choice, but Orisa's still very viable.
And still very hard to kill. Especially, you get some good supports, and man, Orisa could just feel absolutely invulnerable. This team did used to be known as Steven's Homies, so if you're a fan of that squad, this is the same exact squad. They apparently just got picked up by this Shapeless org. So, same team, different name, a little bit of a fresh paint job, but still the same engine under the hood. We are week 5, so we're going to have a fixed map pool here. We gotten out of the loser pick that we saw mid-season tournament, and it is back into the standard. And, and I say standard, my goodness, this week's maps are just nutty, right?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is probably like the strangest assortment of maps I've seen come together. Like, Paraisu is kind of the wild card in there because, like, New York City for Flashpoint, it's one of 2 maps, so that's whatever. But Paraisu, I have not seen that in the map pool in a while, and I'm very excited. I think there's a lot of potential for hit scan players to shine greatly on this map, and we always love seeing some hit scans shine. You can't always do that on hybrid maps.
And rounding this out, map 5 will be Circuit Royale if we need it. And with that in particular, it really does give a wide variety of styles throughout this list for the 5 maps from Overwatch 2. Another fun little fact here. Only one of the OG maps, at least from the first game, and that would be Oasis, our starting map here for Control.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go right ahead.
I was gonna say Oasis. It's gonna be interesting because the sub maps depending on which one you get, you're going to see a lot of variety in the composition, especially when you go to like university versus the city center. And it can show a lot about these teams and the flexibility and what compositions they like to play. Because you think city center a little bit more dive centric. Maybe we see the diva. It's going to be tough with how powerful the Zarya is, but I think there's potential to see just how flexible these teams really are.
We are, in fact, going to start things off on City Center. Both teams showing us Junker Queen. This has kind of been the tried and true lately here with the Lucio Curie. Interesting enough, on top left-hand side, looks like we're actually getting C, who is listed as a flex player, and a tank flex player at that. Is going to be playing DPS here for Trailblazers today, showing us the Genji here to start.
I mean, interesting, they're seeing both teams go full on in the mirror with the Sojourn Genji. It's rare that you see teams that have fully just committed, like, this is what we're going to play, and they came with the same DPS, since it's a little bit variable in these Junker Queen compositions. But again, one thing is going to be for these teams is trying to force out these Suzus from these Kirikos as early as possible.
Yeah, certainly one of the most valuable resources in this entire comp. Trailblazers able to grab this valuable high ground early. Point is still not unlocked yet. There it is. And which prompts Seal to jump down low. Lands the Jagged Knife. A lot of damage going through. C's going to dash into the back and intention all on Duke 8 Pants. Another Jagged Knife in, trying to pull forward. The Carnage will finish him off. First kill drawn here by Trailblazers, and they're going to cascade that into a few more and grab first control here to start things off on City Center.
With those buffs to Junker Queen, getting that extra 75 damage to the direct Jagged Knife hit, Seal was absolutely taking advantage. And because they got the Jagged at the right time when Duke was getting low, you're able to pull him in and get that Carnage kill. So very impressive coming out from Trailblazers.
Yeah, the buff we got to Junker Queen, it hit a couple of breakpoints. Really important ones at that. It's Oblivion now making their attempt. Come back in and steal this point right back. Really, I think I may have lost my feed. Oh, there we go. Never mind. We're back. I don't know if that was on me or not, but we're in here now. Turn to Seal, continuing to dominate, but down one in this fight, hoping to win out this duel against Duke 8 Pants, and cannot. Shapeless Oblivion finally able to wrestle this one away.
That was just Shapeless getting incredibly aggressive and just aggressing on top of those DPS for Trailblazers. So now you're just completely get sent to the spawn room. We're coming into this next fight. Now these teams have built up to a lot of ultimates in this fight, but Seal much closer to this rampage, and here we go.
Continuing rush out from both teams. Texas Money is going to draw the katana. Nice! Deflect finds Realm. They also able to use that overclock to bring them down, but a good rampage has got Seal down low. Excuse me, it was Duke 8 Pants that finished off, and Seal's able to take down another one with them. Trailblazers move right back onto this point, and we're going to be pretty much dead tied by the time they get this back.
Very impressive from the Trailblazers. It was looking kind of sketchy when Texas got in there with that blade, was able to find one, but very nice patience. Vale is able to pop that overclock, get a lot of kills. So now Trailblazers, they get a hold aggressively here, and now they're going to have the blade of their own. Stefan's got to be ready with that sound barrier.
Yep, C's going in immediately. Stefan almost got Ajax. That was so close. Texas Money finished off by Vale's side, and now the rampage coming out from Duke. There is going to be a sound barrier there from How's Your Day, keeping Trailblazers nice and healthy, but only for the moment. Beautiful Jagged Blade finishes off Vale's side. Trailblazers still holding Shapeless Oblivion back off the outside. Zex is going to pop this overclock, trying to find Realm. It's eventually Duke 8 Pants. It's going to bring them down. Turn around, lands that headshot on the C. Nicely done. And a quick pair of kills means that Shapeless Oblivion is right back into this thing. We're not quite done with City Center just yet. Good stall coming out here from How's Your Day, though.
Just had the schmoves and the dodges to be able to get this all the way to 93%. So one fight territory, as you have taken down Texas on the Soldier 76. So if you just quickly regroup, you're going to have an opportunity. Texas will be back, but he's not going to be in the opportune position to be taking angles on your team. So this is Trailblazers' chance to get a good push here.
Oh, I mean, if Texas is just now getting even close back into this fight. Damn, and the rest of Shapeless Oblivion. Kiting backwards, trying to draw him in for this Kitsune rush. Seal's going in very deep. It was a great Suzu to keep them alive. Now Seal just looking for any way out. There is none. No escape. Veil Slide tried to get out of there, and, well, that was a bit of a Freudian because they were sliding out, but it's Veil Side who escapes narrowly. C, unfortunately, cannot get out.
And being able to steal away just that 6% just to get to 99, I think is important considering how close we are to getting to final fight territory. It gives Trailblazers just a little bit more time to set up this final fight. Seal very close to this Rampage. I think that's their win condition here. They're going to have that and the Kitsune rush to combo.
And Veilside's going to try to open things up. Had to go to the other door to find LOS. Good job from Shapeless Oblivion. Just kind of wasted a lot of time on that, and the overclock fades. Still one in the chambers. The Kitsune rush is launched here from Trailblazers. Shapeless Oblivion kind of split up into two different directions. And Veilside's able to find the Kiriko out of the back. Rampage down. I think that that is going to do it here. Trailblazers able to emerge victorious in a 99-99. Last shotgun blast to close this thing out. A celebratory blade coming out of C as Trailblazers take the early lead.
I like what I'm seeing out of Shapeless for a team that's 2-2, coming in against an undefeated team. They have that confidence, have that skill within themselves to know, like, hey, I get that this team's undefeated, but we have the tools to be able to get this done. Brought them all the way to 99-99. They just got to clean up a few things here or there. And I think they're going to be looking to be in a great spot as we head into Gardens next. So we're not going to be seeing any swaps from the Trailblazers side. I don't expect Shapeless either. I just think, you know, that's just them being in spawn. So full on mirror coming out for these teams. It looks like they are going to stick the Bastion, interestingly. So a lot of straight up damage for Shapeless. But if you can wait out that turret for him, you're going to be in a really good position for Trailblazers.
Yeah, it's the sim is really the crux of this whole composition. And it's been enough to get Shapeless this high ground. Super important. Nice boop, though. Maybe a jagged knife that pulls exit to the low ground. Suboptimal for Shapeless Oblivion, but with an Immortality Field, they're able to maintain their space, throw the teleport down, and get Zexa back up into that precious high ground. Meanwhile, Trailblazers try to work through the outside. That C gets caught out trying to come up the stairs. There's just a slew of turrets, a car wash waiting for Trailblazers as they emerge. If they don't even get that opportunity, don't even get close to the car wash, as they just get gunned down in the stairwell.
As being able to push anywhere, but they found 2 picks just like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is playing from behind. Veilside and Seal have completely turned this thing around. No business getting as much done as they have. C is returned to pick up 1, and Duke 8 is gonna fall. So tenacity from Trailblazers, it's rewarded.
Tenacity is one thing to call it. I call that like highway robbery. Like that was ridiculous for Trailblazers to get back into that fight and ultimately win it. Very good. And the problem with this sim composition that Shapeless is playing, it's a lot better for holding. As you're trying to recontest these points, it makes it that much harder to be able to do that.
Well, the teleporter is up. Ant Matrix is out. The teleporter is going to the high ground and a bit of a back and forth. Zella had moved all the way up there. We got knocked back down and into a rampage from Seal. Nah, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Both teams are missing a DPS. Shapeless have the high ground. The photon barrier will fade. Trailblazers has managed to avoid a lot of this damage. Duke trying to work up towards their rampage. They got a lot of people caught. That's a Suzu used here out of Trailblazers. Throwing in the Kitsune rush to try to punch back. It's going to allow Veilside here to build up. Ooh, can't quite get that kill because the Immortality Field turns their attention towards the outside, where you had Zexit on the off angle, drives away the Bastion. Meanwhile, the rest is going to be C pulling out the blade and already grabbed 1. We'll find Steven both supports now down here for Shapeless Oblivion.
And that was the key. That Kitsune rush forced out that sound barrier from How's Your Day? I'm sorry, from Steven very much earlier. So then you're able to use your sound barrier aggressively. And because you pulled it out with the Kitsune rush, C got an absolutely free blade and is able to slice and dice through. Shapeless, however, comes back. They're going to have the Rampage online, but they have to be careful because that can easily be taken all its value away with that Suzu.
Really good play from Realm, who has to Suzu early. It does manage to swift step back to safety. But that precious cooldown is out. Back on the point, Duke's decided to use that Rampage, finds Realm, no Suzu to cleanse themselves, rather. been a support for a DPS trade here in this 4v4. Just give a favor Shapeless Oblivion on this point. Zexus in the back's taking quite a bit of damage, has wheels down, looking to burn down Veal's side, but they're going to use the slide and get the heck out of dodge while Seal comes in from the outside. Now Matrix on to the point. Seal's ducking a dodge from around this center pillar with C dancing around in the backline, and no one's really able to get a whole lot of value out of the amplification. Matrix Seal eventually is going to mow down Duke Pants in this overtime fight going Trailblazers' way. They're going to take away Oasis in map 1 here in our season 5 matchup, or week 5 matchup, rather.
Incredibly impressive coming out from the Trailblazers, especially going against that Bastion Sim composition. They have so much damage, and you're playing Kiriko Lucio. That's not a lot of heals on the field compared to like if you were playing like a Bat or an Ana. So it was very key for them to be able to play around cover and avoid as much of that damage from that Bastion and Sim as possible. And it felt like every time we were spectating the Bastion and he went into turret form, it's like, where is everyone? They're just ducking and hiding, getting around corners. They were playing very well against that Bastion.
Absolutely. And I mean, it can be a difficult thing to do with the Sim. I mean, the Sim can put a lot of positioning challenges in front of you and put the Bastion into some really dangerous spots in the blink of an eye. But Trailblazers, they did a good job of tracking that and then did a good job of really just avoiding it. You know, we saw the teleport go to the high ground, they drop low, able to just completely LOS that Bastion, and it was a strong showing out Trailblazers against what has been a very prominent composition in this meta.
Yeah, the Junker Queen, as you mentioned, that Jagged Blade direct broke a lot of breakpoints, so making Junker Queen that much more viable. And I mean, it feels very similar to the compositions we saw back in like when Sojourn first came out and Junker Queen first came out, like the Jote style composition. Just speed boosting in, trying to get a lot of damage out and using your Genji to finish off kills and keep getting those dash resets. And I mean, they're playing very well so far. Seal on that Junker Queen has just been a maniac.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't think that's gonna change much. I mean, we're headed into Paraiso for map number 2, and I mean, I could absolutely see the same composition continuing to work with the Genji and the Sojourn. C was also pretty magnificent there with that Genji. Always fun to watch. So you know what? You gotta be careful. You know, might nerf Genji again. Be careful. You know,
yeah, wouldn't all Genji players hate that? Like, no, my hero's finally meta again. But the one thing about Paraiso, because of the high ground, especially when you start getting to second point and first point in general, I think it opens the window to possibly play the Ashe. I still think Sojourn's probably the pick we're going to see, just because the mobility you can get to the high ground, plus you're able to slide out of danger if necessary. Coach can only go so far with Ashe, so I do think we'll continue to see the Sojourn, but I think there's an opportunity for the Ashe just with the natural high ground on defense you can get.
Yeah, perhaps, but like you say, I think the Coach Gun is better against like a Winston than it is against the Junker Queen. The speed of the Junker Queen just means that they can catch right back up to that Ashe. I mean, unless you were in the specific situation of get some high ground and kind of avoid a Junker Queen that way, but I still think the Sojourn's probably the safer bet. But I mean, I love me some Ashe play as well. I mean, you get the AoE effect from the Dynamite that can just be absolutely devastating, particularly through an Ant Matrix if they wanted to go that route, if they wanted to go more pokey. But hey, you know what? Time will tell. Opportunity is certainly there. We'll see. We'll see what Trailblazers want to do as we head into map 2 hybrid coming up shortly.
Yeah, I even think you mentioned the Dynamite. I think especially one of the most important cogs to the wheel in these Junker Queen compositions is that Lucio. That speed boost is very important to getting your Junker Queen in and out to different covers, getting them around the map. So you get a Dynamite onto that Lucio and kind of nullify the heals if he goes to the heals. Then you're able to focus on that Lucio much faster. If you get the Lucio out of the fight early, it can really disrupt what teams are trying to do with their aggression. So I definitely think that could be on the field there.
We did get a bit of a substitution, I think. As we're going to have Pre coming in for Zex. So that'll be for Zexet, so that'll be in the DPS role. Get into beautiful Paraiso. I love this map. This map is just gorgeous. It's got a unique design too.
It's so vibrant. It's the colors just pop, man. It's awesome as the Trailblazers getting ready for defense, which is very we saw when we were looking at the lineups that Seal had been shown as the Sigma little symbol. So they are actually going to bring out the Sigma composition. So they are going to go more pokey. Not the Ash, however, like we might have thought. They're going to go with a Hanzo and a Soldier 76. So the Hanzo provides just that, a lot of burst damage and the ability to just get those clicks on the heads very quickly and take people out of this fight fast.
Yeah, don't underestimate that Sonic arrow either. Knowledge is certainly power. Texas Money tried to get aggressive right out of the gate, wasting no time trying to jump on Steel, but did not work out very well, and you can see the limit in chat. I wanted the rock. You got the rock, buddy. You can't handle the rock.
As the problem for Shapeless is Seal being able to hold this high ground. They don't have access
rush.
to it, but it doesn't matter. They run down.
Yeah, it's the problem with this bunker composition is you are very vulnerable to speed. And, well, this Junker Queen composition has quite a lot of it. As How's Your Day is going to get found out. Trailblazers are going to try to rotate this high ground. They're sticking around on this point. Managed to pick up one. Now trying to hunt down either Lucio in the back or Duke Pants, who eats an accretion. Down low, landing the shots as Veal side from up high. And we saw Pre try to jump up there, see if they could deal with them, but nope, Veal side stands tall up top.
I mean, so much poke. I mean, it's tough if you are Shapeless trying to push this, especially when you use your Junker Queen. You're kind of just all spread out on the point, and that's where this poke composition is going to thrive more, when they can just keep their space and pick you off one by one with their Alari, with their Soldier. This is beautiful. As we now see, we see Realm going over to the Tracer, but it's already dead.
Texas Money again opens things up. Let's see if Shapeless can close it out this time. Headed to the high ground. Texas Money had to deal with that invulnerability and could not land. Able to get the better of him. And How's Your Day lands that headshot. Woo! Barely a dodge on a rock. And Steven, they're going to go ahead and drop back down low. And Shapeless Oblivion kind of running out of gas here on this attack.
I mean, very impressive coming out from Seal. I mean, was able to wait out that reflect from the Genji and then threw the shield out in front of him to finish him off so his healers could not heal him up. Shapeless, however, gets to come in with the Kitsune Rush, so that's only going to increase the amount of aggressiveness they're going to get, but there's the Flux.
Yeah, Flux got, I believe, 2 in that. Duke Vance is immediately going to fall. Coming around the corner, Seal's going to get aggressive. Another accretion rock lands, but couldn't get the follow-up with the Hyper Spheres. Texas Money's trying to drop down, but the escape has been cut off. There's nowhere to run.
I am still just in awe of this ultimate from Alari in general. The Captive's Son is just so good. If you get it in the right place at the right time and have the follow-up, it can just devastate a team. However, Shapeless was very smart. They didn't commit any ultimates like that to this fight, so they have a lot to work with coming forward as the Pulse Bomb finds nothing.
Quick movement out of Shapeless as they go back into this high ground. Gotta be careful if you're Pre in the back, and it's an early soundbite. It has to be forced out because How's Your Day threw an Amatrix from up high. Now the Kitsune Rush is thrown over onto the objective. Pre has still managed to at least keep Realm at bay, but hasn't quite been able to find that kill. Gets the recall out. In fact, it's both DPS now trying to chase down that Tracer. Overclock pop decided to turn his attention up high. Texas Money finishes off the Tracer. The Overclock finishes off How's Your Day. And once again, it is Shapeless Oblivion who are able to draw first blood in these fights. But they start to suffer casualties, and already one has dropped here. The Tac Visor looking to stem the bleeding as Mohiki is going to fall. And finally, for the first time, Shapeless is able to take down Seal.
Oh, man, that was getting dicey for Shapeless, but they finally got their hit scans on the high ground. Pre and Texas allowed them to take their angles, and then that was the power, because then the Junker Queen is in your face, and you're like, oh my gosh, this Junker Queen is in my face. I had to do something about her. But then you have the Sojourn and the Soldier taking those angles and able to unleash all that damage, and the staggers are just coming through.
Yeah, Mohiki gets caught out up top. Bit of a greedy position, perhaps. Just really wanted to hold that high ground, put some shots down. Gravitic Flux comes in from Seal, though. How many fights have Trailblazers won in like a 4v5 where they go down early and they still manage to swing it back? Seal's able to catch Pre in the corner, and Shapeless Oblivion now scrambling a little bit. Texas Money running for cover. Dayman cannot find any. Texas Money runs right into Realm and Muhiki. Oh my goodness. This broke down quick, and Trailblazers were on top of it.
It feels like Trailblazers are just doing a good job of finding isolations. Even if they're in a 4v5, they're able to catch one or two of them off by themselves, and then they're able to capitalize. Shapeless, however, is going to have this rampage online, but where do you find this value when they're all playing high ground, Bull?
It's certainly going to be tough. Seal may be the target of this rampage. Yes, indeed. Once the accretion was gone, Seal is going to get hit. No healing for you. Seal's trying to back out. Immortality Field is... Oh, holy cow! And the Captive Sun is in. Muhiki saves... Oh, my, destroys everybody and saves Seal's life in the process. Wow.
That is what I'm talking about, man. When you get that Captive Sun at the right time... on multiple people like that, and then you have your Sigma there to follow up because you're saving his life by healing him, that is the damage Captive Sun can do. That is ridiculous. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, everybody caught in that small room with 120 explosion damage. Everybody hit by Attack Visor from Texas Money on the high ground. Guess what? Veilside has one of those as well, and they've got double damage to boot.
My visor is better than yours because I have an amp matrix. That's just what it came down to. And man, Seal is just continuing to find and get value against Duke on this Junker Queen. As now it's forcing him to swap over to the Diva to try and have a little bit easier access to this high ground because they keep having to take more and more time just to get to that high ground and rotate.
Even trying to drop a Captain Sun of their own, but it's picked up out of the sky by the Overclocker Realm. Now here comes yet another Gravitic Flux, just smashing to pieces. Shapeless attack. An early swapped Diva is taken out of her mech, and the pilot's not going to last long here against Seal.
Seal is insane with it on this segment. He has just a great... I don't even know what to call it. Just... he has an ability to just know exactly where those, I guess it's just situational awareness. Hey, I know there's healers right there. I'm going against their DPS. I'm throwing my shield at this angle right here, and I'm going to be able to kill them because now they won't be able to heal them. He is very good with that shield placements in the 1v1s.
Smart thinking. I mean, you got to be big brain. You got to play tank with the best here. And I mean, Seal is certainly showing us they are one of the best here in the open tier CGL. That Sigma was absolutely scary. We thought the Junker Queen was nasty. Oh my goodness. Wait till they just start floating above the ground. Then things get real scary.
That you are has Shapeless is now going to take a page out of their book. They've seen how it's done, and hopefully they can replicate it. However, they are going to have Pre on that Bastion. So if you're Trailblazers, you're just going to have to be very careful. They did a great job on the last map of avoiding all the damage from Pre. They're just going to have to continue to do that once again. And I'm kind of hoping Trailblazers come out on this composition. I love me some Ryan, and unless I'm watching London Spitfire, I don't get to see him very often. So I need some Ryan in my life.
Taking a page out of the EU book. Maybe, just maybe. I was expecting to swap over to the Symmetra. Yep. If you're going to do it, you're going to have the Sim there. And then we can get some flank shatters going on. It's one of my favorite things in all of Overwatch. Is a good teleport shatter.
Oh, yeah. And just look at that quick access to the high ground.
Yeah, they're not going straight to the point. They're trying to hold this rim, throwing all of the car wash of the sim turrets up in there. Veilside's able to pick up one. It was a really smart play, as I think Shapeless Oblivion was anticipating him dropping down. But with this delay, they're able to build up some of their cooldowns and really control this pace. But How's Your Day falling means that tempo is going to slow down dramatically here for Trailblazers. Shapeless Oblivion denied, but just one tick picked up.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately for Trailblazers, they were kind of undecided about exactly what they wanted to do there. Did they want to completely hold point? But then they put that teleporter up there to go after the BAP and the Sigma, but they didn't get the Immortality Field down quick enough. If you're playing these Reinhardt Bastion compositions, you got to commit as a team. You either hold the point or you go after those targets as a team.
Well, they better stick it together here on this second attempt. Seal just propels themselves forward to smash Prey, but Mohiki falls. And that just might spell the end of this push. We'll see if Trailblazers want to continue to press the issue. Getting this kill on Texas Money might just be a go sign. Just might change their mind. They got to pause for a moment to heal up, but then here we go. Seal goes pitting in deep, and Trailblazers see the green light. They managed to separate Duke out, but Duke has an ultimate to work with. He's going to smash Seal up onto the high ground. Seal just throws up that shield and is shouting for heals right now in the comms. How's your day? Is shouting for some peel as they're just getting pressured down here by Duke. Bree has returned, and with all the damage that comes along with it, and it's enough, despite Duke eventually falling with the Ant Matrix. Shapeless, Oblivion are able to hold.
That's the problem with Trailblazers right now is they're trading out in their picks. They're finding someone, but as soon as that happens, they're getting traded out. And it's always one of their healers, whether it's the Lucio or the Baptiste, and you just cannot play these compositions without your speed or without all your heals you get from the Baptiste. So they got to do a better job at finding these picks and not trading out, especially when these positions for the defense with the spawns are better.
Oh my goodness! That there was a lag spike and then everyone was dead. That's what happened.
Yeah, I didn't have the lag spike. I cut off, and then like Tactical Visor Captive said at the same time, and they were all dead. It was
like that flickered for but a moment, and it was just team kill. That was ridiculous. All right, so here it goes. It's going to be a photon barrier up onto the high ground used very early. Rihiki went down quite low, was poking their nose out where it didn't belong in front of a bastion. Lucky to still be in this fight. Breed not so fortunate, as they're going to be the first to fall. Once again, the victim of a pen coming out from Seal. Up high, Realm will get beat in the Ego duel up against Texas Money. Down low, Seal tried to shield up here, got 2 ticks, just needs that final third one. Immortality Field had to be used from Dayman to save themselves, and that's not going to be enough. Duke is going to fall as well. Going to get a late artillery strike here. If that had found something, then maybe Shapeless would want to recontest, but alas, it does not. And Trailblazers are able to get this car out of the garage.
Yeah, the key for Trailblazers was they did end up trading out in that fight, but they were able to get that soldier. They were able to get Texas before he could find cover and pop that healing pylon to be able to heal himself. So very impressive. And they're already finding, with not a lot of distance they have to get on second point, these staggers are going to be crucial. You got to regroup if you're Shapeless.
Yeah, and being able to control this balcony is huge. Duke up there pummeling him with some hyperspheres and is only 3% away from what could be the eviction notice here for Trailblazers, but it's not coming up fast enough. Duke isn't able to get it down before Bree falls. Veilside is down low as Duke really wants to equalize, but guess what? There's nobody contesting the cart. And yeah, that's a little bit of a Charlie Niner there.
Yeah, sometimes you get those
I want to see this play.
Oh, yeah, let's see
Give
this
me the
play.
4K. Yeah. Oh, even gets that kill on Dupree for... Oh, what a disgusting angle. Oh, wow, Muhiki, that was fantastic. That was spectacular. Wow.
Yeah, that was incredible. And Trailblazers going to take that decisive 2-0. I mean, we talked about, I think the only thing for Trailblazers, as you mentioned, it just seems like they've kind of had a softer strength of schedule. As you mentioned, they haven't faced any of those top 4 from the midseason madness. So, I mean, they're looking strong. And it's how it goes. You beat the teams that are on your schedule that you're playing. You can't help who you've played so far. But, I mean, they are looking to be in strong form right now. Maybe ready to take on some of those top 4 teams.
Well, I mean, that's any way you slice it, Trailblazers are currently sitting flawless in the regular season at a plus 14. Looking to close this one out in yet another clean sweep. But we'll see if that'll happen after our break. When we return, we are headed to New Junk City. We'll see you there.
Imagine it. Water is the softest and most yielding substance, yet nothing is better than water for overcoming the hard and rigid, because nothing can compete with it. Lao Tzu.
Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave.
Trailblazers up 2-0 here as we get into the back half of our matchup in week number 5. It was a pretty dominant performance both on Oasis and Paraiso to kick things off. We'll see if Shapeless making any changes here going into New Junk City, try to bounce back.
I mean, especially since it's New Junk City and Flashpoint, to me plays. I mean, I know it's like their control points, but it just plays fast paced, kind of like Control can sometimes. So I definitely think we're going to be going back to that Junker Queen mirror. Yeah. Maybe we've seen certain teams pulling out the Doomfist if they have the Doomfist player on these maps, but I mean, we saw just how proficient both of these teams are in that Junker Queen mirror. So I think that's what we go back to. So again, it's just going to be about being able to get on top of those DPS, because the supports, the Kiriko and the Lucio, they're very hard to get after. Kiriko has that teleport. Lucio just be able to wall ride and just dodge you. So getting those DPS off the field are priority number one in these comps.
And I mean, the Doomfist. Well, we didn't see any substitutions, so I don't imagine that we will get that route. I anticipate this will be that Jungle Queen matchup. The speed is just way too important on the Flashpoint game mode. You've got to be able to rotate cleanly and get around the map as quickly as possible. We did get. Wait. Yeah, that sub was. Oh, okay. Sorry, one of our people behind the scenes was trying to communicate in a bit of a backwards way, but yeah, we are going to go ahead and get one sub, as we will have Pre coming back in, or excuse me, we will have Zex coming back in.
Excuse me. My favorite part that I've seen about Flashpoint so far, this is actually my first time doing New Junk City, so I'm excited. Everyone's loved Servasa just a little bit better when they were doing loser picks, but the nature of team, like, it adds a lot of like strategic thought when you're coming back from fights. Like, okay, they're at 90%. Do we bother contesting here, or is it just going to be better for us to take a better full team fight at the next point? And there's also points where teams can really pounce on opportunities where, hey, we know they only have 4. They're still waiting on their other support to get back. Let's go get them before the next point unlocks, and then we get the next point for free. It adds a lot of strategic within the points themselves, like even in between.
The randomness of how the points appears adds a whole other factor to it as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting watching teams kind of figure out this new mode and figure out what is optimal. I mean, like with Push, you know, it took a little while just kind of for the entire Overwatch community to really wrap their brains around Push, and we really started to see the importance of rotations and how much movement was really more important in Overwatch 2 than we saw when we were used to in the 6v6. And I think the same is true here with Flashpoint as we get underway here in map 3 and see what these two teams decide to do with it, as it's a race to the arena to kick things off.
As Trailblazers now pulling out the Zarya composition. This Zarya Reaper gives you those Dallas Fuel vibes, just those bubbles, allowing Realm on this Reaper to be hyper aggressive and find those picks, and they did find the Bastion, so that's going to be a free point take for Trailblazers.
Yep, they're going to go ahead and grab first control right out of the gate here. Shapeless Oblivion aren't disengaging too much. I mean, there's a bit of a soft reset as they just kind of hold this back door and continue to build up ult charge. Ooh, look at this little sneaky sneak from down low. Steven is escorting Zexot back around. Up the ramp they go. I think he'll do anything with it. Try to catch this off angle, but Trailblazers have read it. Duke manages to break through the front door. Find that kill on the Ville side to start things off. Wraith form already used. Bubble down onto Realm, but nobody is going to shoot it. Did buy enough time for Seal, though, to pick up a pair. Both of our tanks just striking haymakers at each other. Eventually, Muhiki and Seal are able to bring down Duke.
It's going to be the issue for Shapeless is if they allow Seal to build up this charge on this Zarya, there's just not a lot of players, the heroes they're playing, that can handle a fully charged Zarya. Now they're having Duke having to mirror the Zarya just because of how much value Seal's already been able to get. 85% to that Graviton Surge already.
Ooh, clever little move from Muhiki to close the distance for that swift step. Ant Matrix now up here. Wheels down, protects his money, but having a hard time finding any targets. Breaks that bubble onto Realm, but they Wraith form back into safety onto the objective. Down low in a bit of a cubby where there's plenty of cover and Seal with that beam. So Shapeless Oblivion will like to just stay up on the high ground. Muhiki got a bit aggressive trying to go up with Seal. Gets picked off. Seal now at about half health. Drops it into grab, and Muhiki cleans up on the back of a huge grab for Seal. Holy cow.
And that is just going to be a clean first point win for Trailblazers, and it only cost them a single ultimate. That is just beautiful rotation coming out from Trailblazers, knowing that, okay, all we need to do is drop this graph. We don't need to overcommit. We can save these ults for the next point. And because Shapeless have been swapping heroes, now Texas going over to Soldier 76, their ult economy is just in shambles.
Oh my goodness. And this fight is just already done. One Kitsune rush out of Mohiku after that big 4K. And it's been another just very clean team fight. Mohiki has been an absolute all-star today, be it on the Ayari or on this Kiriko as well.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, no one even went to the point there. The Trailblazers knew where the spawn was for Shapeless and went to catch them out of rotation and get them focused down very quickly. Very smart from Trailblazers.
And I believe this, we're in the Ducks here. I think this is far spawn from Shapeless Oblivion, so you're not going to get too many chances at this. Overclock out from field side, but it's Realm with the Death Blossoms where I should have been able to sneak up from that ramp, I believe, to come behind Dayman and Texas Money and cut the knees out from underneath this composition. Zex's trying to bring it back, has already got one, but Realm eventually is going to take them out of the fight. And it's another good win here for the Trailblazers.
Seal is really good with these bubbles. Like, so the one person that was in danger from that overclock was Realm, and they were lining up the shot that was Zex. And then the bubble comes in, they're not able to kill Realm, and they're able to find Zex. So just very good awareness from Seal about who needs the prioritization of those projected bubbles. As you do get to come in, if you're Duke, you have this Graviton Surge on point. This has to be very high value. This should win you the point.
Oh, Steven dies immediately, though. Duke is on the objective in the overtime. And, okay, somebody is going to come down and contest. They're not going to give it up for free. Sound barrier used early, so Duke is going to keep that grab in the pocket for just a little bit longer. Can't hold on to it too long, though. Otherwise, the rest of your team is going to die. That's exactly what happened. That's 2 points here for Trailblazers.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Shapeless. If you're Duke, it's like, do I even bother committing the Zarya ult into this fight? We're down our Alari. I mean, it's really tough decision. I think it was a smart move to save it for this next fight. You're going to have that in a tactical visor to combo with, and you force out their sound barrier, so you are in a really good position to find maximum value out of these ultimates.
Shapeless Oblivion are going to be the first into the junkyard. Duke dies, just gets absolutely mauled, separated from the rest of the team. Texas Money wants to bring things back. There's one from Dayman. Texas Money's not going to get it done, but Zexit's able to bring this at least to a 3v2. 3 favoring Trailblazers as they move on to the point, and they're once again going to grab first control. Shapeless just have to watch from the outside and pepper in, hoping they can get something.
As Trailblazers are just being hyper aggressive on trying to catch Shapeless outside of their rotations. Very smart, and they're able to just find these isolated picks. Again, Duke still has the Graviton Surge to be able to throw into this fight, and with Junkyard, this is their last opportunity to try and turn this around.
I have no idea where that Kitsune rush is. It's a solo grab onto Seal, and then eventually we'll get the job done. But Veilstone's already picked up one. Is neck to neck. That was nose to nose with Steven, or excuse me, with Zexa. Eventually able to bring them down. Was trying to finish off Dayman, but couldn't quite find it. It's Muhuki who eventually gets that pickup. Shapeless able to sneak the point out here from underneath Trailblazers.
Very impressive considering how that fight seemed to be going, but they're able to keep their Zarya up, which is the big deal. I mean, they've been losing Duke in this rotation so early, and Zarya is just your huge damage source on that tank roll. Now you're able to keep them alive, and it allows them to be able to keep this point as Trailblazers on their way back. Realm's gonna have this Death Blossom. Last time went crazy with it. It's got to find the value again to try and make this a clean 3-0.
We tried to go on the right side and kind of got pushed back. Here they go again. Realm doesn't want to get too far ahead of the rest of the team. Is just sneaking up. So far, there's no eyes on him. So teleport on top of the box. The boop is there, though. Steven makes the ring. Ooh, eats a couple of good shots. Steven is going to fall down the Death Blossom, but the carry is able to swift step away, and Steven ends up being the only casualty here from Realm, at least so far. Zexit's eventually going to fall as Hauser is able to land some Cheerios from range, and now Duke is left alone. No supports, no way to heal up. This point's going to flip.
You did get it to 99% if you're Shapeless, so you really just got to win one more fight to start this comeback on Junkyard. They're going to have both of the overclock and that tactical visor. But How's Your Day has a sound barrier. They found Texas. That's devastating.
Right outside of Shapeless Oblivion spawn, too. This is that aggressive position to keep them away, and out comes the Doom Fist from Duke. 92%, and it's 0.8 per 6. Somebody has got to get in if Shapeless and Oblivion want to keep this series going. It looks like it was Steven that made the touch, but they're going to fall. Overtime going, 2 kills back and for Texas, but he was able to get 1, but eventually brought down by Veilside, and it is just Duke standing, and eventually they will tumble. Trailblazers continue their flawless run. They move to 5-0 on the season with a plus 15 map rec.
As you mentioned, flawless coming out from Trailblazers on the season, and they were flawless today. You were singing the praises of Muhiki throughout this series. It's only right that on this final map, they get that play of the game on the Kiriko. But, you know, we think about that play of the game they got on the Alari on that last map with that amazing angle. They were just doing an incredible job on that support role today.
Yeah, I think that would. If we do play a player of the match, I think my vote would go to Muhiki. It's tough, you know, for a game like this because there's a lot of things that go unseen. I mean, you have to really get in and analyze a replay viewer, and so you know we're just going by quick eye test. But by eye test, Muhiki, man, that impact was impeccable today and a big part of this 3-0.
Yeah, I think Muhiki, and then if I gave another shout out, I'd probably give it to Seal as I'm sitting here thinking about it right now. Their Sigma, their Zarya, their flexibility, even on the Junker Queen, that it was just impeccable. So shout outs to Trailblazers. They are looking in peak form as they start to peak into some of the more difficult games coming up on their schedule.
Yeah, it was a good start to the back half of the season here as they stay flawless. Couldn't ask for much more than that from Trailblazers. But that's all we got for you tonight. It has been a blast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Big shout out to everybody behind the scenes. It was Headrummer and Joe on production and observing respectively. So big thank yous to them. But most importantly, thank y'all in chat for hanging out. We do appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful night. We got games going on tomorrow. I think we got an EU match at 2 Eastern and then another NA match. I think that one's at 8 Eastern. I don't know. Keep an eye on Discord. You'll see them pop up. All right, we'll see you then. Have a good night, y'all.
Later.
Got lots of love. Love. Got lots of love. Love. Got lots of love. Love. Got lots of love. Love.